Okay, here we are. So this is going to be a math help for worksheet 7.3 and 7.5. Okay, now I'm thinking that the majority of what you missed was probably just a little miscalculation somewhere, but I just want to go over it and make sure that that's what it was. Make sure there's something that we'll make sure that you're understanding everything. So look back at worksheet 7.3 and let's look at 1A. So we had, it just wanted you to, we're just multiplying decimals, okay? So we had 42 times 15 hundredths. Now, because it's multiplication, it doesn't matter how you write it. For myself, I would write it this way. I would write the bigger number on top, even though it's not the bigger number, but it's got more digits to it. So, and then times 42. All right, now we've written our problem. Now, when you've got that problem written, don't even think about that decimal. So really the zero and the decimal, just don't even think about it. It's just gone. It doesn't matter. Okay, so let's go ahead and multiply like normal. Okay, 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 1 is 1 plus 1. Pardon me. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. And then 2 times 0 is 0. Bring down our placeholder. Now 4 times 5 is 20. Carry our 2. 4, 5, 6. And then that would be 0. Now, once we've gotten everything multiplied without bothering at all with that decimal, let's go ahead and add. Don't worry with that decimal. Not until you get your final answer do you even think about the decimal, okay? So let's bring everything down. We've got 0, we've got 3, we've got 6, and we've got 0. Okay, everything's added up down there. Now, then, let's go up here. Now, this number right here does not have any decimals in it. It does. It's right there. It's right there beside it, but they don't need to show it because it doesn't matter. Now, this number has been changed. The decimal has been moved through it twice. See how many placeholders it is? From here, to make it a whole number, it'd be 15 if it were here. But it's been moved twice. See? 1, 2. Okay? So, all in all, these numbers up here, the decimal has only been moved twice. So we come down to our answer. Now, our decimal is right here. Remember, our decimal is always at the end of a number. I mean, it just is. It's just known to be that way. We don't put it unless we need it, but it's just known to be that way. Now what we do is we'll move that decimal the same amount of times in the answer as it has been moved at the top. Well, that was 2 times, so let's start here. Ready? 1, 2. Okay, so our final answer then, some of these zeros we don't need. We don't need this one, and we don't need this one. We only need this. That would be our answer. Okay, the answer you put was 2.52. I'm not sure how you got that one, but anyway. All right, on letter B, you got it right. But C, D, and E were missed. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, let's see, C, D, and E. Let me go ahead and do D with you because that's going to be the distributive property, I believe.
Where's that?
No, they're not doing the distributive property on that because it doesn't say. So here's what I'd like for you to do. I would like for you, because I know you know how to multiply, I just wanted to remind you how to know where those decimals go. So I'd like for you to go ahead and pause this and do C, D, and E on just a scratch piece of paper. Now on D, you're going to do the parentheses first, only because the directions do not tell us to do distributive property. So if it doesn't say that, then we'll do parentheses first. So you'll subtract 48.6 minus 9.87 first, and then you'll multiply whatever that answer is by 2.5. Okay, so go ahead and pause it, and then when you're done, I'll give you those answers and we'll see how close you got to those. Okay, let us see. All right, on C, your answer should have been, this would be your answer on C. That would be your answer on C. Your answer on D, your final answer would have been your decimal was right there. And then on E, your final answer would be okay. These would be your final answers. Now, if you did not get these answers, I would like for you to message me back and say something like, can you show me how to do C, D, and E on worksheet 7.3, C, D, and E, or whatever it is. And then I'll send you a video. Actually, I don't want to do the problems and waste mine and your time if you got them right. But if you got them wrong, that's okay. But let me know, and if that's the case, I'll send you a video watching me do these so that you can see. Okay? Otherwise, let's move on. So part 2, the skill sharpening. There were just 3 A, B, and C that you got wrong on those. So let me do this. Okay. So the skill sharpening, A, B, and C. You got D right. Okay. So on A, let's do this. It was 1 3/4 times 98. Okay. All right. Now, it's multiplication. So when it's multiplication, the first thing you want to do is you want to change any mixed numbers into improper. Okay, so you take 4 times 1 plus 3. So you're going to have 7/4 times, you can put a dot or that, doesn't matter. Now, 98 is the same as making that a fraction. Remember, if somebody's 98 years old, to make a fraction, you say they're 98 over 1. Okay, now we have our fraction set up. Now, we can't do anything with 1 and 7, but could we? I don't know if 4 goes into 98. If it does, we can simplify. 4 goes into 9, 2 minus 8, and then we have 18, so no, that wouldn't work. I know 2 goes into both of them, so let's just do that. Let's put 2 into both. We'll simplify them by 2. 2 goes into 4 2 times, and 2 goes into 98. What is this? I should know this. 4 minus 8, 49 times. 49 times. Okay. So now let's simplify, or let's multiply across. 49 times 7. Oop, that should be a 3. 3, that's a 6. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. So that's 343 over, and 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, now that is improper, so we just divide. So let's divide. 343 divided by 2. Goes in there once, minus 2. That'd be 14. 2 goes into 14 7 times. Okay, that would be 0. You still bring your 14 down, so bring our 3 down. Okay, so that would be, because 7, that would be 14, so it would be 0. 2 goes into 3 1 time. Okay, so this is our whole number, 171, and then 1 over 2. So 171 and a half. Let me make sure that I got that right. Yep, 171 and a half. Notice how we did all that. I think maybe, perhaps, let's see what number you got. Yeah, I'm not sure. You ended up with a decimal. I'm not sure how you ended up with a decimal. 29.85. You may have been starting on a problem and then looking at a different problem. I've done that many times. Okay, let us move on. So the next problem then is B. Again, on B, A, B, and C, you gave me decimal answers. So I'm not sure how that worked. Okay, so on B, it was 2/3 times 6 over 5. Okay, so it's just multiplication. See if you can cancel anything out. 2 and 5 don't have anything in common that can simplify them by. 3 and 6 do. Okay, so now let's multiply across. And it's already simplified. So we have 4/5. Okay, and then the last part on this one is C. That would be 4/7 plus 3/5. Okay, now on this one, it's addition. So you know you have to have the same denominator. So I'm not going to write it up and down just simply because this is a pretty simple one. So let's go ahead and change 4/7. What is the common denominator going to be? 35. Okay, so 7 times 5 is 35. So 4 times 5 is 20. See how I changed 4/7 to 20/35? Okay. Let's do the second one. So 5 times 7 is 35. So 3 times 7 is 21. So up here we're going to have 41 over 35. That's improper, but those numbers are quite close, so we should just be able to do it in our head. 35 goes into 41 one whole time with 6/35 remaining. And that can't be simplified. So, or can it? No, it can't. 2 and 3. No, it can't. There you are. Yeah, 6/35. Okay, I hope you understand that. Like again, I'm not sure why you got decimal answers unless you divided those down and made decimals out of them. Okay, let's look at, right quick, worksheet 7.5. Okay. All right, so let's move on to 7.5. I'll try to be pretty quick on this one too. Oh goodness, yeah, these are not my forte. I can do calculations, but I'm not very good at problems. Okay, so on the top on number 1, conversion between fractions and decimals. Okay, express the following fractions as decimals, and it says that we can use the calculator, so that makes it pretty easy. So let me bring my calculator up so that you will be able to see how I type this in. I'm not sure what happened because you got the first one right. Come on, calculator. My computer's so slow. Come on. Today, anytime. We love waiting on you, calculator. Okay. Now, on B, that's 11/12. Okay, it's the same thing as saying 11 divided by 12. For some reason, there's 2 calculators open. I don't know why. Who knows? I don't know where that number came from. Okay, little calculator. Well, we didn't want to see you either. All right. There we are. Okay, so on letter B, that's 11/12. That's the same thing as saying 11 divided by 12. So your answer then would be express the following as the fractions as decimals, round it to the hundredths place. Okay, this is the tenths, hundredths, so we're rounding to this place, but in order to round to this place, we have to go to the third number. So it's 0.916. So our answer to round to the nearest hundredth would be 0.92. Okay? See if you can do C and get the right answer on that one right quick. All right, on 7.5, your answer should have been 0.83. 0.83, because it would just be 5 divided by 6 and then round to the nearest hundredth. Okay, I hope you got that one. If you don't, let me know, because those are really important. Okay, on number 2B, you got 2A correct. On 2B, okay, I'm going to need my worksheet for this. Let's see. All right, so what it's saying to us is you want to leave, so to read A, say you wanted to change the width of text on a computer so it will print out at 3 1/7 inches wide. The computer program can set the width of the text. If you can give it the dimensions you want using decimals, what number should you type in? And you got it right. You said 3.1. That was correct. Now, if you want to leave 3/4 inch margins, the blank space around the edges, all the way around, an 8.5 inch by 11 inch piece of paper, what width and height in decimals should you tell the computer to crop a picture you want to fit just inside the margins? Hint, break the problem down into what has to happen to your width and to your height. Your width is 8.5. You want a 3/4 inch margin on the left and a 3/4 inch margin on the right. What will your width be? Your height is 11 inches. You want a 3/4 inch margin on the top and a 3/4 inch margin on the bottom. What should your height be? Feel free to draw the problem if you need it. I remember this problem, and I'm horrible at these problems, so don't feel bad if this confused you, because I'm telling you what, these are not my friends. Okay, so 2B. So that's what I thought. Okay, that's what I was thinking. I was actually thinking correctly. All right, so it says that we have a sheet of paper, and it would just be a standard sheet of paper, 8.5 by 11. So 8.5 inches by 11 inches. And it's telling us that we want a 3/4 inch margin around all of it to fit a picture or something right in here. So what it wants us to do is it wants us to, you have to use, you can't use fractions to tell your computer and your printer what to do. You have to change that into decimals. So if this is 8.5, what is that in a decimal? It'd be 8.5, right? Okay. What about your inches? It's just 11. There is no, I mean, you can put this if you want to, but you don't need to. It's just 11, okay? And you want to add, you've got this and this and this and this. So what you're going to end up doing is you're going to take your width here, and you're going to subtract 2 3/4, not 2 3/4, but 2 3/4. Now, 3/4 as a decimal is the same as, do you happen to know? Think of 4 as 4 quarters. So 1/4 or 1/4 would be 25. 2 quarters or 2/4 would be 50, which is half. So 3/4 would be 3/4 or 3/4, which is 0.75. Okay? Now I'm sure you already knew that, and if you didn't, that's fine, whatever. So we're going to take 0.75 minus 0.75. Okay, and that's going to give us the inches that we need for the width. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for the height. Okay, so our answers to these two would be the two decimal numbers that we would put into our computer to tell our printer, how to do it. So if you want to go ahead and do those calculations right quick, I don't know if you can use, does it say you can use the calculator? No, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to do this one by hand. So see if you can come up with those calculations, pause it right quick, and then when you turn it back on, I'll tell you what the answers are just to make sure you get those right. Okay, on 2B, you should have gotten 7 inches on this part, on the width. And then on the height, you would have gotten 9.5 or 9.5 inches. Okay? To me, it's always so much easier to change a fraction into a decimal and work with it. But nonetheless, that one was hard. And frankly, I don't know that I could have done it had I not had my teacher book right here in front of me, because those are not easy. Okay, 1, 2, 3, just 3 more. So I know this has been a long video. I'm going to try to get these because these were just the last ones of the ones that you missed. Just wanted to cover those right quick. Okay, on number 3, section 3, you got A and B wrong, and then D, you put a question mark on it. So let us then look at 3, section 3, and then A. Okay, so it's important to become proficient in both decimals and fractions and to know how to work with problems that contain both. For example, when you buy 1/4 pound of apples for $1.25 a pound, you have both a fraction and a decimal to deal with. So in this case, you'd want to express the answer as a decimal, as we use decimals to represent portions of a dollar rather than fractions. Don't let fractions and decimals in the same problem stump you. You know how to work with both. For these problems, express your answers as decimals. Your sister's submitting work. Okay, now here's an example. 1/4 times 1.25, which is like $1.25, and that equals $1.25 divided by 4, which equals 0.31. Notice that we multiplied decimals like we would whole numbers, and then we completed the division. I'd have to show that to you on the screen, but let's look at A. I'll just show you how to do A. So we have 2/11 times 8.97. Now it says that it wants all of our answers in decimals. So we want to keep everything in decimals. Now, 2 ways you could do it. And frankly, I think this is probably the easiest way. Just divide this, make it into a decimal. 2 divided by 11. And you get, it'd be 0.18. So you could just do that. You could just do 0.18. My computer's, you would change this to 0.18 and multiply it times 8.97. And then you'd get your answer. My computer's not letting me do anything. It's freezing up on me. So if you want to try that on A, B, and D. Now you didn't try D on here. You left a question mark. Now if you buy 2/3 a pound of apples at $2.99 a pound, how much will you end up paying? Well, we want a decimal, so just take 2/3 and divide that. 2 divided by 3, make that into a decimal, and then just do the multiplication. So it's just one more little step to use. And you can use your calculator on this. So pause it right quick. See if you can do finish this one. And so A, B, and D. Turn it back on and I'll give you the answers. All right, so on A, let me find where I am here. 7.5, this would be 3A. Your answer to this one would have been 1.63. On B, your answer would have been 1.3. And on D, it would have been $1.99. Would have been your final answer. Now, if you missed any of those, or this is still not clear, if you need me to do another video on this, let me know. Just send me a message and say, hey, Miss Shelley, can you help me on 7.5 numbers, whatever? And I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so that's pretty much it. You had a couple of more just minor errors down at the bottom, which I think were just little glitches, but nothing bad. So anyway, that's going to end that. Now I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get you a grammar video.